Hey y'all, we are back with another dense update. This update is sponsored by Biomax Peptides and Herd Athletics. Here we go. I know what y'all came for, and we're going to get to that. But first, can we just talk about the WFP and the workouts they just released for the Mesa event? I really didn't think they had the stones to program an outdoor event in Arizona at arguably the hottest time of the year. I know this because I lived there. The summers are just unbearable.
It is warm, but we'll be done with that event before 8 a.m.
Now it's going to be at 7 a.m. in the morning, so it's totally fine. And they were complaining about the 83-degree weather in Texas. Oh, but it's different. It was a run and a swim, blah, blah, blah. It's fine, guys. They determine what's appropriate. Them and the PFAA know exactly what's safe and what's not safe.
So it shouldn't be too bad, and we'll have all the appropriate ice tubs and cooling fans and all that stuff.
It's just the hypocrisy of it all. And then you've Brian Friend, who runs the production, and I don't really think I need to say anything about that, except I think I forgot to tell you guys a story about Brian. At the Torian Pro, Brian's in the media pit, and he literally jumps over the barricade onto the competition floor during the event, runs over to the MC to tell the MC that he mispronounced somebody's name.
Is this true? Is this true?
And then he was just at the Monster Games and he was doing the live broadcasting there. Apparently, he pissed off the event director, and the event director for the Monster Games is the USA event director for the WFP. There was some sort of disagreement, and they basically told him, yo, dude, shut up. If we want your advice, we'll ask for it. This is why people don't like you. Just do what you came here to do, which is broadcast, be an analyst. Quit telling us how to run our events. And I heard he's not welcome back.
If this is true, this is blasphemous.
I feel bad for everybody associated to him. They choose to be associated to that. Tweedledee and Tweedledoctor with their new show. Things that they talk about on there and the way that they defend the WFP when they don't even actually know everything that's happened since the beginning. I've had to correct them several times because they didn't know that Will Morad had no friggin' plan leading into this, and it was a last minute decision, and that he hadn't even hired his USA director until the end of December.
These things need to be set in advance, and like to sit here and say like, while it might not have been like sealed, signed, delivered, it was far along in talks, and then would be my thought.
He's like, honestly, Jason, he goes, I need a city and I need a venue as soon as possible because I have athletes that are waiting to sign and they won't sign until they have that down. So he's like, we just have to have that. So that was like day one, Monday, December 16th, to drive home. And my wife drove and just dealing with sports commissions and trying to figure out dates. I mean,
they were trolling me on something, and I don't really care.
Mm-hmm. I trolled people. We just trolled Dents. I was like, we're best friends. That's the only reason why you didn't have fun.
It's like they're trying to create some sort of non-existent beef between me and them, just so that they can have some sort of relevancy. If we're not talking about them, they're not going to be talked about. They haven't said anything that they said they were going to say on their show in 10 shows. Not everybody needs to start a podcast, but the WFP is sinking fast. I mean, look, they just lost Saxon after he worked there 6 to 8 months, and he's already gone. I mean, who's next? Mesa can't be doing that good. They're still hiding their community division leaderboard. They're still giving away free elite team registration. Everything about it is just ugh. I can't get on board with it, you guys. No one is taking the other thing seriously because it's a joke. It's a clown show. And speaking of other things that don't make sense, how do you not invite James Sprague to Tier Wodapalooza SoCal? He won the games last year. He won Miami Wodapalooza. He was on the podium at WFP. He was on the podium at the games. And you don't think that he should represent the Team North America? There's got to be a reason why. And I heard it was because the CEO of Tier doesn't like his agent. Are there that much politics going on in this? That you're not going to invite someone based on their merit? That it's simply because you don't like their agent? That's stupid. Drunk Pedro posted this reel over the weekend, and if you can get the joke, if you can read between the lines, it pretty much tells you everything you need to know. I've gotten tons of messages about Movemax.
Okay, so where do you want to brisk walk? What is happening here? I'm just writing up a small little workout. Do you want to join in? It'll take maybe 3 hours max. Movemax.
And everyone's confused on what it is. What does it mean? Why are we doing over an hour long workouts? He posted a triangle of Movemax in the middle with CrossFit, high rocks, and triathlons on each point.
But why? Why? I just want to move maximally for maximum time. Why can't we just constantly varied function? No, just long.
Is it just like a backup plan if the sale doesn't go through?
Have you not purchased this? Is this not? Have you not bought this? It depends who you ask. If you ask me, I have. If you ask anybody else, even remotely involved in the sale, then no, I have not.
Is this another Rosa situation? Is it just you, the owner, or is it some random Swiss bank with the money that's really going to be making all the decisions?
I'm pretty confident. I mean, he has all this money. I have all this money. Me.
And the part in there about Rich Froning, getting Rich Froning on your team because you need the buy-in from the community.
I think we should involve Rich Froning. Okay, we need to win over the community. And Junior, Rich Froning Jr., as you call him, is the way to do that.
But then all of a sudden at the games this year, you guys aren't seen together at all. Was there a fallout there?
Forget about Rich Froning. Ditch him. Why? The community and the...
There's rumors Daniel Chaffee is going to be the CEO. Facundo might be CEO.
I want Chaffee as CEO. Who do you think should be CEO? I don't really know why I care what I think, but Chaffee's a sensible. Maybe Facundo actually. Right. Okay. I met so many famous people at the CrossFit Games.
And when it comes to the sale, I worry it'll be a letdown to the people if they think it's one thing and it ends up being another.
I need to understand what your problem is. Everybody else that surrounds me just agrees with me all the time and says everything that I'm doing is great. And you seem to have an issue with everything that I'm suggesting doing. You're probably going to tell me I shouldn't paint that horse trailer and drive around.
So typically after the games, CrossFit hosts an after party. This year, there was no after party. All of the athletes were staying at the Renaissance Hotel, and I know some people were hanging out in the hotel bar there. Danielle Brandon and her group of friends leave and head to the pub. A lot of these athletes talk and they text, so it's not that big of a surprise to think that everyone would end up in the same location, considering Albany is pretty much a ghost town and it's really the only place that was open that late. So they go over to the bar. They're there for a while. They're out on the patio. They're having drinks. They're celebrating. Danielle finished fourth at the games. That's a great accomplishment. And then Matt Torres and his friends all show up. They go inside. They realize, obviously, that she's out there. So they stay inside. They start ordering drinks. And one of Danielle's friends comes inside and walks up to them and says something along the lines of,
"Excuse me, you didn't saying it. We're saying that we're saying, and we're downstairs and all them booting in the back of
what the fuck are you doing here? We were here first," kind of thing. Torres and Elle are just basically like, look, chill. We're not here to start any trouble. We're just hanging out with our friends. We're going to have some drinks. I think he had bought a round of shots for a group of friends. One of them wasn't drinking, so he offered her the drink. Like, here's a drink, just trying to keep the peace, I assume. And then she goes back outside to the group and obviously probably tells them what happened there. From what I understand, there's a band playing inside, so it was really loud, and it was a really large patio outside, so Coachelle and Torres, they all head outside. And then that's when the altercation takes place. Essentially, Danielle goes up and is like, what the fuck? Why are you buying her a drink? It gets loud, it gets heated. And then at some point, it does get diffused from there. I mean, you can only imagine this is the first time they're really seeing each other in public. He's upset that she was cheating on him because he very well thought that they were in a relationship. I don't think he was just losing his mind. I'm being told there were long late night FaceTimes and I love yous taking place. And then he drives to her house and there's another dude's car in the driveway. So she's upset about the TikTok and the domino effect that that had on everything coming out about her and the gym and her friends. Later on in the evening, there was another instance where he was talking to Brooke Wells. Danielle walks up and says something along the lines of, why the fuck are you talking to her? You look fucking stupid. Yada, yada, yada. Over 100 people saw this take place. You had to know it was going to get talked about. I'm actually surprised it took several days for us to even hear about it. I didn't hear about it until the Clydesdale Media lunch show the other day.
One Miss Danielle Brandon and one Mr. Matt Torres both appeared at the same pub in Albany and had a very public disagreement.
And like I said before, I really thought this was going to be the last we would hear of it and things would die down after the games and he'd go back to his life in Jacksonville with his elite group of athletes. She'd go back to Tampa with her posse of 38-year-old groupies and that would be the end of it. But if things like this keep happening, if there's stuff posted on social media, anything that you do in the public eye, it's going to be talked about. And it seems like she just really doesn't give a rat's ass what kind of effect any of that has on anyone else. I sympathize with Torres. I've been in that situation. I've rolled up to my dude's house when there was another girl's car in his driveway. And now, granted, I didn't make a video and post it on the internet. I just went and beat the door down until they woke up and then tried to take her windows out with my fist. And luckily, I didn't go to jail, but not my brightest moment. Certainly, I could have handled that better. But that's life. Life is emotional and it's heartbreaking and shit happens. But if you're a public figure and shit like that gets out, people are going to talk about it. I really don't know what else to tell you.
That dense bitch